In this episode, I'll be sharing with you how to downsize your home. Welcome everyone to this episode of the AskJasonGelios show. I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor. I appreciate you tuning into this episode where I will be sharing with you about 13 tips on how you can declutter, get moving if you're going to a new home, or simply downsize your current home. And this is a great topic. I get asked this often, especially as more and more, seniors make up a large group as far as those looking to downsize, with the exception of some seniors actually increasing the size of their home to account for adult children and whatnot. Before we dive into this though, I invite you to follow me on social media. Those links are in the description below, and be sure to visit my website. It's allabouttherealestate.com, where you can sign up with that pop-up form to receive a new episode in your email once a week. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this. So, what exactly is downsizing a home? For those of you who don't know, downsizing a home is when you actually reduce the amount of stuff you currently have in your current home, right? You declutter, you get rid of large furniture, extra large furniture, or furniture pieces that you don't need. And in many cases, it is you looking to sell your current home and get a smaller home with less square footage that is essentially downsized for your lifestyle, okay? Many times people who have adult children that have moved out, they've gotten their own place, doing their own thing. They have this home and they want to downsize, okay? So that is, in a nutshell, what downsizing is. Now, there are some factors into why you would downsize, and I want to share that with you. First off, do you need to save the money, right? If you have a bigger home, you may want to save money on the cost of maintaining a larger home, the tax bill every year. All these factors go into whether or not you are looking to downsize. Another reason why is, do you have too many things in your current home? Maybe you're not looking to move, but you want to downsize the amount of items that you have. Do you have too many couches in a room, or do you have too many items that are packed into a space? That could be a reason why you want to downsize your current home. Because downsizing isn't always about moving, it's about just downsizing what you currently have. Another reason is, should you convert kids' rooms, or you may want to convert kids' rooms into guest rooms. Again, your kids are out, you want to do a whole new color scheme, which, by the way, the kids might not like that, but hey, if they're adults, they should be able to get over that, right? So should you convert kids' rooms to guest rooms? That's or a hobby room where you want, let's say you like to sew, or you're an artist, you can turn a kid's room into your space, your own space where you can actually take care of a hobby. Are you getting a divorce? This is a reason why many downsize because many times one of the people in the divorce, or both, can't afford the home on their own. And so they may have to downsize into a home that's more affordable with a more attractive payment for them, okay? And then this one's popular as well. Is your current space safe for you? This is for aging homeowners who find a large home challenging. For example, are you a senior and you're having a hard time with the stairs? Does the space not make sense? Is it harder to maintain a larger home, which it is? Plus, it's more costly. So it could be a financial burden, right? A larger home. And so many times, seniors will actually downsize to make things a little bit easier. So I want to go ahead and dive into these tips about how to downsize your current home. This is if you're not moving, okay? So the first one is start now. Start small. Don't, like, for example, if you want to park your car in the garage and the garage is filled with stuff, make room for one of your cars, okay? But just start and give yourself time. Unless you have to downsize urgently, you want to give yourself time. You want to give yourself weeks or even months to sort through your house. As long as you get started and you're working through the process, that's a great thing. That's a great starting point, is just to start right now. A second one is learn how to declutter. Okay. So for one, give away something each day. Even if it's something small, a dress shirt you don't wear anymore, a dress you don't need anymore, donate it, give it away to someone. If you do that once a day, okay, that's 365 things that you got rid of in your house. Okay. Another one is speed fill a trash bag. Don't overthink, right? You have the trash bag. Don't overthink. Just, I'm not going to use this within the next 2-3 months. Okay. Some decluttering experts say 6 months. I say sooner. If it's not something like a junk drawer in a home, right? Am I going to really use this? Throw it away. And set yourself a timer too. That way you're not overthinking about, okay, it's just going to, I may want to keep it. I may not want, just get rid of it. Another one is, celebrate your small wins. So, for example, if you're on social media, share a space that was decluttered, like a before picture, like a cluttered closet, and then share it after. And people should provide positive comments about, wow, you really cleaned up that closet space. That's awesome. Okay. So a third tip is take an inventory of what you have. Think about what you have. You may see a pattern to the items that you plan to keep, okay? That will make it easier. And by the way, create an inventory list room by room, and then think, do you really need it? Do you have duplicate items, right? Do you have too many crock pots and you're only going to use one? You're not going to need the rest. Get rid of them. Do you have a popcorn popper that you haven't used in years, right? Somebody thought was cool to give it to you. Get rid of things that you don't need. So when you take inventory of what you currently have, you'll be surprised that it's actually, that you may actually have duplicate items of things or things that you haven't used in a long time. The next tip is, sort your belongings in piles. Okay. I would have 4 piles. So have a plan for getting rid of things. That means you have a keep pile, okay, where you're going to keep items without even thinking, I need to keep this. It's sentimental. It's whatever. Have a trash pile, which has no maybes. A trash pile is something where it is going in the trash for sure. You should be walking that to your garbage bin ASAP. A third pile is donate. You can donate items to your local Goodwill or some charity or some club that benefits others. And maybe you could store the items. That would be your fourth pile. Is, maybe you could store them in your attic or in a separate storage facility, especially if you're downsizing and moving. You want to just, you want to be able to actually store some items, okay? The next tip is sell your extra furniture. Many times people have too much furniture in their home. I've seen this when I was showing homes where they have an overabundance of furniture. Too many chairs, too many couch pieces in a room. So I would make a plan to get rid of the extra furniture, especially if you're looking to sell, because if a space has less furniture, it's going to look bigger. Okay. The next tip is pick your storage options. So if you're not looking at parting ways with larger items, you can actually choose a storage unit. Yes, there's an extra cost. If you're downsizing and moving to a new home, that's pretty beneficial, okay? You can get a storage unit, and then at your own convenience, you can actually go through it. And then the last tip for downsizing your current home, not moving out, is take your time. Unless you have to downsize in an urgent manner, pace yourself one space or one room at a time. Don't try to tackle everything, go all over the house. Pace yourself, okay? And, give yourself credit for decluttering certain items or even doing any of these tips that I just shared with you, okay? So that is how to downsize your current home if you're not moving, okay? Now, I want to share with you how to downsize before a move to a smaller home. And so here's some tips on that. If you need to downsize to a smaller home due to affordability, like I mentioned earlier, safety or lifestyle changes, which is probably the number one, reasons, then you'll need to add a few extra items to your downsizing list. And that is, for one, do you have enough equity to sell? Can you financially downsize to a smaller home and sell your current home for a profit? If that's no, then you may have to wait or tweak or come to closing with more cash than you thought. But do you have enough equity to actually sell your current home? I recommend you talking with a professional realtor about that. If you're in Southeast Michigan and you're watching this, I'd be glad to help you out. Okay, so the next tip is measure the space in your new home. If you have an idea of where you're going to go, measure the space. Yes, this might seem obvious. However, if you have furniture in your current home that is too large, or it would clutter a room in your new home, especially if you're downsizing to a smaller home, that could pose a problem. So measure the space, measure the doorways, will your furniture fit? And again, this is if you still have your current home and you already have a home that you're thinking about going to or are going to, and you're in that process of buying and selling. Another tip, how to downsize before a move to a smaller home, is get your current home ready to sell. You can apply the tips that I just shared about how to downsize a current home, like decluttering and doing. But here's some other tips about how to get your current home ready to sell. Ask someone who's honest, who's really honest, to walk around your home and do a sniff test. Okay. Now, we all get used to the smells in our house. We have dogs, if we have a cat, if we have whatever, teenagers, okay? You want to have someone who doesn't live with you do a sniff test and make sure they're honest, because home buyers will notice that. I've shown homes where we've walked into a home and myself and the home buyers are like, what's that smell? Okay, and maybe a homeowner becomes used to it, especially with pets. But buyers want to have a nice, fresh new home scent. They don't want to come in and be like, whoa, what is that? Okay. Another tip on getting your current home ready to sell before you downsize is light up the space. Open things up. If you're going to have buyers coming through your home, light things up. Make sure every bulb and every light is maxed out to what they're allowed, and make sure they're on. Leave all the lights on before you have showings, by the way. Don't have buyers or agents turning on the lights. Leave them all on if you're going to have a bunch of showings in a day, and it will give the buyers a better idea, and it will be more attractive to them as well. Now, another tip is clean up the curb appeal. Curb appeal is huge. Many times home buyers will make a decision as they're walking up to your property or before they even get out of the car. And I've had instances where curb appeal was so bad on a home, there was a lack of curb appeal, that the buyers didn't even want to go in. They just said, we're just going to skip this one. That's not good. So clean up the curb appeal. Get rid of overgrown grass or weeds, dirty windows. That's a red flag. That shows that the home has poor maintenance done on it, or no maintenance at all. And keep the outside of your home as clean as possible. If it's wintertime, make sure everything's plowed. Make sure that there's salt where there's ice on the walkways and things like that, nice and neat. Curb appeal is huge, okay? So another major tip is wait to buy new furniture until you move in. I agree with this, because you want to move in and then you can measure it and figure out, okay, I want to have a two-person couch there, whatever it's called. I think it's called a love seat. Okay, you want to have a certain couch here, you want to have a recliner over here, you want to do all that. So I would say wait until you move in and then get your furniture. That's always a great thing. And then, of course, get pre-approved for a mortgage. You want to actually get pre-approved for a mortgage. Speak with the lender before you do anything, and speak with them throughout the process, because the mortgage rates go up, they go down, they fluctuate, and that could affect how much you're pre-approved for. Actually, it will. So you want to make sure that you get a pre-approval. That's provided that you need a mortgage. You might not need a mortgage. You might be able to sell your home and use that cash for the new home, which is excellent, okay? Some tips on getting pre-approved is, just make the largest down payment possible to keep your payment low. Be aware of debt to income ratio, which is where lenders divide your monthly debt by your income before taxes, your gross income, and they look at your percentage. And 43% is like the benchmark standard, although every lender is different, okay? Obviously, credit score And again, this is if you're getting a mortgage. And then income. You'll need to provide pay stubs and W-2s or tax returns, or proof of your Social Security income, retirement income, pension, all that stuff, okay? And by the way, if you're age 62 or older, you may be eligible to actually purchase a new home with a reverse mortgage. It's not a standard mortgage. That is something to consult a lender about. Just what's a reverse mortgage, okay? Now, the last tip is plan your smaller home budget. So there should be a budget in place. A smaller home can come with a lower payment. However, for example, if you're purchasing a condo, just know that most of those condos have homeowners associations, and that's an extra monthly fee. There may be additional ownership costs. You just want to make sure that you are aware of that, and be sure to review their bylaws as well. You should be able to get that in place. So I hope you guys found this valuable. This is just in a nutshell, although it's a pretty lengthy episode that you're watching, but how to downsize your current home, and then how to downsize your home to move into a smaller home. I would love to read your thoughts in the comments. Share your thoughts. You can even reach out to me. My website is it'sallabouttherealestate.com. And by the way, fill out that pop-up form to receive a new episode in your email once a week, as well as follow me on social media. Those links are in the description below. Otherwise, it means a lot to me that you've watched this full episode up to this point. And again, share your thoughts in the comments. So I'm Jason Gelios, Michigan Realtor, and have a great week.